So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Let's talk about defeat today. Defeat meaning, it's a verb. Win a victory over someone in a battle or other contest, overcome or beat. An instance of defeating or being defeated. A 0 to null defeat by Grimsby. Similar nouns would be loss, beating, conquest, conquering, beasting, or besting, bursting. And similar verbs would be conquer, win against, win a victory over, triumph over, beat, and so on and so forth. So how to deal with defeat? How to deal with failure, maybe, and making a mistake and not being good at something. There's an article by Squash Point, which probably makes it dedicated to squash players, but this is not necessarily what I am searching for. The higher you set your aims, the more likely you are to experience a loss. How will you respond to a situation? Losing sucks. There's no doubt the feelings of defeat are tough to cope with. No matter your age or level of play, no one enjoys losing, and facing the agony of defeat can prove troublesome to any athlete. When we lose, it can seem as if the world is crashing down. Our confidence may plummet, and all the joy we once held so dear within the game can vanish in an instant. There's nothing worse than suffering losses over and over again, or is there? I would argue there is something worse, facing defeat and failing to take anything positive away from the situation. Of course, it makes sense, and I think we all know that this would make sense, but the very problem is that it is very difficult. It really fucking is. I know when in the midst of a loss, the last thing that seems possible is finding any ounce of positivity in that moment. But the truth is, failure and defeat provide us with two options. We can either allow the agony of defeat to eat at our psyche, leading to us feeling sorry for ourselves, or we can accept the defeat, learn something from the situation, and to move forward. Obviously, this is the case, but I would also say that it is really fine to also experience that defeat and also experience the negative feelings, like one feeling a bit bad about that, because it's not amazing. It is not a cool thing to have. It's not a cool thing to go through. And it might be quite often the case, you might fail and you might be quote unquote defeated. I think defeated per se means that you have already told yourself, you've already realized, and you are fine with failing and staying there. But we all have quite some time, and we might just, what about having another approach? When I fail at something, I actually tend to do it the same exact way the next time as well. I don't necessarily know why I'm doing this. I don't necessarily know why this makes sense to me, but it really doesn't. When I clearly have seen that this way of doing something really did not give me what I wanted to have, the result, whatever it may be, I should really do something different. I should really do something in a different way. So today, and this is also quite the reason why I'm willing to talk about defeat. Today, I had to present my project, first of all, for whatever reason, in the midst of hastiness, in the midst of being called out quite spontaneously. I did not present my work in the best way possible, I'd say. And it was not that of a great work. In the end, the thing is, when I'm doing something and I'm doing my thing and whatnot, I think, well, it is not bad. It is good, especially when it is something that I am not really good at. But of course, then when you see other people's work, which is then especially kind of mind-boggling and strange when you're working at home and all of them are working at home, and you then see, well, yours is actually not that good. And when this is happening a few times in a row, then you start feeling like, at least I start feeling like, I do actually really want to be good at this. I do actually really want to be excelling at it. Just because this is the case for me in every single fucking aspect of my life. I hate being bad. I don't actually know why. Also if it is, or when it is something that I'm actually not really good at. So then I thought, well, the next time I might do my project as well as I fucking can. Just because I want to have a good project. Also because I can keep it. And might be something useful, it might be some great sculpture that I'm building that I'm then actually very happy with, and so on and so forth. So various different things that I could actually get out of this experience, that I could get out of this actually lesson, or lecture, or whatever. But on the other hand, it is something I'm not good at. So why should I put too much energy into it? The easy option is to give in, feel sorry for ourselves, and allow the defeat to turn into another, and then another, and then another, and so on. However, easy does not lead to success. We must learn how to face defeat with courage, taking away any lesson we can from the situation. In order to do so, there are a few tips we can follow. But before diving into how you can better deal with the agony of defeat, let's examine all the different ways you can be defeated. Sounds fun, right? Team defeat, personal defeat. I think personal defeat is way, way fucking more worse than team defeat. How not to respond to defeat. From a young age, I remember being told, don't be a sore loser. This was sound advice, especially to you, to a young boy who didn't exactly handle losing in a graceful way. However, this statement is focused on other people. I was told not to be a sore loser because of the impact my reaction had on others. It wasn't really aimed towards putting myself in a good position to succeed moving forward or ward off the depressive and negative thoughts/feelings that so often accompany a loss. Internalizing the defeat. If we strive to handle defeats in a positive way, we must look beyond simply appearing not to be a sore loser, but in fact avoid certain forms of responding that are damaging to our psyche. Let's actually see what I can find something else. 10 ways to successfully handle defeat. The thing is, they all are probably going to tell you the same thing. Do not see it as a defeat, see it as a lesson learned. It reminds me of the dip. Yeah, this is exactly how you write the dip. Fuck it. The Dip by Seth Godin, which is exactly about overcoming difficult periods. And there is indeed a summary by the SamuelThomasDavis.com site. Is there a small one? The 5 Big Ideas, I think. Or the book in 3 sentences, both of them. Winners quit the right stuff at the right time. And this is essential for me, and I think this is great advice, because when I'm not good at something, why should I put so much energy into it? I'm never going to be amazing at it. I would rather put my time into things that I'm already really good at and really get the best at this fucking shit. It makes sense, probably because I'm also having some talent in whatever it is might be about. The second thing, people settle for good enough instead of best in the world. Which I think is understandable. Like, once you're making some decent money and you're living off that money quite well, why should you strive for more? Being well-rounded is not the secret to success. Maybe I should also just, I don't know, like, I'm just realizing something. I may not be good at, making things very, how should I say? Making things very clean. I am not a clean worker. I am really actually having a hard time doing so. But what I can do is being creative. And I think sometimes I'm losing myself in trying to be as clean as I can, and then just losing the opportunity of being as creative as I can, and maybe as extreme as I can. So what about just doing things in the way that I find the easiest for myself, but just using the time and using the energy for actually being very creative and doing things in an interesting way. Of course, sometimes things then turn out very good, and sometimes they are really shit. And I've seen both, and I've done both, and it is fine. And also the 5 big ideas. To be a superstar, you must do something exceptional, not just survive the dip, but use the dip as an opportunity to create something so extraordinary that people can't help but talk about it, recommend it, and yes, choose it. The next time you catch yourself being average when you feel like quitting, realize that you have only 2 good choices: quit or be exceptional. Average is for losers. Winners understand that taking that pain now prevents a lot more pain later. Yeah, for example, learning. You're gonna have an exam. Exam should be passed. And that's it. Winners understand that taking that pain now prevents blah blah blah. The decision to quit or not is a simple evaluation. Is the pain of the dip worth the benefit of the light and the end of the tunnel? Quitting as a short-term strategy is a bad idea. Quitting for the long term is an excellent idea because it frees you up to excel at something else. That's really quite the truth. And with this being said, I'm going to see you the next time. So, bye-bye.